Hey, Scott and I are live. Scott has some pretty groovy stuff going on here lately. He's
This-
got,
so this is. Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Well, this is my. This is the Heavens Rejects. I was. I'm working on a logo. Oop, hang on. Okay, and now I'm watching it on my phone, so I can see if
Sure.
anybody comments or if anybody's watching. Anyway, so I did. Let me open a few files here. Okay, so I made this last night. This is the logo sheet for Heaven's Rejects. The writer had a change. He emailed me and he wanted me to make the H and the R a little bit more prominent and a little bit wide, a little bit wider. And
Okay.
so one of the problems that I ran into on doing this was this. So I did this logo. Okay, this is gonna make you laugh. I did this logo a while back, and this is a bought font. Okay, I
Mhm.
didn't buy it. I downloaded it, but if you want to use it for a logo, you got to pay them $1,500.
Oh, geez.
So so I drew it. Now it's not the same logo. It's not the same font. I mean, it's close, but it's drawn. I mean, I'll show you. Um, I'll zoom in a little bit. So, like, if you know anything about Illustrator, like if I select this, see all those points
Yeah.
there?
Right.
So, like on my J, there's like 3 points because I've drawn it. This is like traced or something.
Mm-hmm.
I've made my I've made I've made my E's a little bit flatter, and I changed some stuff that I didn't like about that font. It's got this swoopy thing I took off, but I drew this all from scratch. Now I did set it over theirs, but it's all drawn. There's not a single line on here that's from that font. So, you could say, well, I traced theirs, which I did. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but I drew it. I adapted it. I
Right.
mean,
No,
uh,
that should be enough. I think.
I don't want to pay $1,500. I'm not going
Right.
to pay $1,500. But the writer has said, can you can hang on?
Can
Let
you
me
change
find.
it even more?
Well, no. He doesn't care about that.
Right.
I mean, in terms of what they did or whatever. He says, "Hi Scott, these logos look really sharp. Is it possible to make the H and the R thicker, bubblier, and bigger?
Hmm.
I really like what's going on here, but if the first letters could be a little more emphasized, it might be easier to read from across the room." So that is my mission tonight, is
All
to make
right.
that.
That's a
Um,
that's a
yeah,
real art task.
yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, this is. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I do at work all day.
Mm-hmm.
Not low. I don't create logos so much, but I definitely like take. Hey, they like this or they want this. So anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do tonight.
Cool.
So I know you love it when I work on Illustrator on the show. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, it teaches everybody a lot. Anybody can always go back and review, say, how did Scott do that? And
Well,
check it out.
and not trying to brag, but if you want to learn about Illustrator, I know a lot about Illustrator.
Yeah.
I've used Illustrator every day for probably 25 years. You know, so take that as you will. So
What version, or though, is your personal version?
it is
How?
CS2, so it's
CS2.
older.
It's pretty old.
It's pretty old. I'm also not paying $60 a month for
Sure, yeah, that's right.
it.
That is the everybody, to an extent, you could even say the vaccine is trying to cash in on the notion of rental strategies on making money.
Yeah,
They want to just keep that money rolling in.
you could argue that. I
Yeah,
mean, I think they have no desire to stop it. I guarantee you
yeah.
that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this. Um, let's see. Let me do this. This is kind of my worksheet over here.
Uh huh.
or
So
this.
you stick stuff off the side,
Yeah,
work on it the way you would
yeah. You can
a
see here.
carpenter or whatever.
You can see here. Let me take it out keyline mode. These are some of my. Now this one, I want to do a comic. There's a character that somebody created called the Night Demon,
Mm-hmm.
and I have an entire story written. And I just love that name.
Mm-hmm.
I love but I don't know what their character is. I mean, I've seen a picture of it, but my character is a guy that is in New Orleans. It's an African American, lives in New Orleans, and he's a cop by day, maybe like a meter maid kind of cop. You know, just
Mm-hmm.
not a detective, but at night he puts on. When I was a kid, I had a rubber mask. It was like an old man kind of mask.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a rubber mask of a demon, and the bottom half is ripped off so he can breathe. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but it's his rubber mask and a trench coat and stuff, and he fights crime on the streets of New Orleans. And this is, if I ever write that, this is what I want to use. I don't even know what font this is. It's called Night Shift, but I love that. It's a Blambot font, I think. Speaking of Blambot, I got to give Blambot. Are you familiar with Blambot?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got to give Blambot props. Because I've lettered this comic, and I reached out to the company
Mm-hmm.
because on their website it says if you're doing an indie comic, you can do your comic. You can use our font for an indie comic, and we won't charge you.
Hmm.
And true to their word, I emailed them and I said I've lettered this comic entirely in Letteromatic. It got picked up by Source Point Press. I don't know what your divider line for indie comic is, because they're like,
Yeah, they're a big company.
yeah, and they're like, no, you're good to go. So I don't have to pay. They're allowing me to use that font
Mm-hmm.
for free, which I think is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Because they don't have to. I mean, they could say, well, sorry, we, whatever, I told them, I'm doing this book called Evan's Rejects, and it's, got picked up by Source Point Press, and I'm the co-creator. I'm not a, and I said, I just want to, what do I owe you? I want this to be, all on the level.
Above board, yeah.
I want to be, I'm sorry. I should have reached out to you before I did it, but I didn't know where the comic would end up. And so, what do I owe you? And they were like, you owe us nothing.
Great. Awesome.
So also what that tells me is all my sound effect fonts, which are also Blambot fonts, are okay.
Very good.
Yeah. So that was good because I figured I'd probably end up owing them a couple $100.
That's a lot of bucks to just randomly.
Well, I got to pay for part of the coloring, so
yeah,
there's a lot of bucks going out of my pocket right now on this deal. But you got to make money. You got to make money. You got to spend money and make money, Ellis.
That's what I've heard.
But anyway, I haven't heard anything back about that comic book, whether I got the gig. I guess I'm going to reach out to them and say, I'm not trying to be a pest, but I haven't heard anything. Can I assume I'm out?
Mm-hmm.
Am I in? I hate waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I hate being, and I don't want to be, no, that doesn't fit very good. I guess I'm going to make it fit. Let's see. I haven't modified this yet, but anyway, so what are you up to besides spending all your money on cat food?
Yeah, we had a discussion about cats that I guess should embarrass me, but doesn't really. I just have cats, have a lot of cats.
I have a dog.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't think you should be embarrassed by the fact you have a cat.
Yeah, I've got feral cats that are the main bulk of them. But like I was telling these guys via this email thread, I've got so many of them that it really, really does starting to hit me as a budget item.
Yeah. Oh. Animals are not cheap.
But I've got to basically give up the idea of wet food for the feral ones because it's too silly to be feeding them that wet food, even though the dry food is expensive enough.
Are you putting it out for? Do they eat? I mean, do they come up and you open a can and they eat it, or you just put it out?
No, I would put it out for them. So I'm in charge of how much there is for them. I could do that. I could give them, just a little dollop maybe, and say, they won't notice.
Well, I mean, the only thing I would say is if you're feeding them and you're not monitoring them eating, maybe feeding like the possums in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that can happen, and it's certainly we got them. I've seen them.
Well, because we have a cat that stays on our porch, or not stays on our porch, but I sent you a picture of it. It shows up on our Ring doorbell. And my wife is always like, hey, we should put some food out. I'm like, hey, no, we have skunks in the neighborhood, and I don't want them on my porch.
Yeah.
That's so you might be a little careful about that.
Yeah, you know what? Skunks, you think would be it's just not the season for them, I guess, but that was a common thing to smell on the road. I wonder if their population has been slightly endangered by whatever.
Not in my neighborhood.
Not in your neighborhood?
Oh, no. I mean, we haven't smelt any recently, but when we run, we'll see them in the morning. Now, we haven't the last couple of months, but they're probably hibernating.
I didn't know they did that.
Or whatever they do, they got to do something in the winter, don't they? Whatever they do in the winter, they're probably doing it.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay, so what I did is I moved this over because I want to make this stroke right here thicker. So I'm trying to figure out. I struggled with this yesterday or whenever I worked on this. But anyway, so I've been working on this thing. Oh, let me show you. Issue 4. Issue 4 got lettered. Issue 4 is done.
Cool. Excellent. Well, how many issues are there?
4. I'm done.
Excellent. Okay, I was going to say.
So
you had many more than 4.
Nope, I'm done. Once I get this logo done, I'm done. So let's see if I can move it. Okay. So this is, I'll buzz through the pages. Page 1. Some of the coloring choices, I got to say, I don't care for. This page did not look like I thought it would in my head.
Well, I wonder if the CMYK will.
No, because I thought his jacket was like black. I envisioned him with like a leather jacket. She made like an orange satin looking thing.
Wow. Yeah, that can really kind of, it can ruin everything for a guy, basically. Well, color choices.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. It's a little lavender in this bit, but I mean, because so this is the Murder Con. It's a convention of murders, and so my thought was, I'm thinking like Comic-Con, so like tan walls, like a dark red carpet, and blue and white table skirts.
Yeah,
alternating colored table skirts. She did that. I'm not sure. Anyway, so then, and like I said, I imagine his jacket is black. And the shading on this jacket's terrible, by the way. And it looks worse on orange. I was hoping she colored like a blue, And anyway. Yeah,
It's, part of teams. I could talk about something here.
Well, see, and the truck, I never thought their truck would be yellow.
Oh man. See, that's big mood wise and all that you may have been up to something you didn't get, and now you've got to live with. Oh man, that guy's Quasimodo. I got to start over on that eye. That's what I get for working a cattywampus angle.
Oh yeah. I was drawing at lunchtime and I had my sketchbook sitting flat in my lap. And I was like, and it was a little moleskin, and I was like, I can tilt this up so I'm looking at it better. Anyway, and then again, samurai armor, I always think of as like red, like a deep red, like a polished mahogany.
Yeah.
And she's got it kind of a purpley. And again,
yeah, I guess so. And to think, you're paying for it too.
oh yeah, I'm getting ready to send a check for it.
Yeah.
But my philosophy, I like that. She looks good. See, that jacket's how I was picturing his jacket would look. I like that. And I'm not sure I would have done a green Mustang, but it works out good. She did good on this.
I'm sorry, I'm working on something. I absolutely am just doing something to keep my hands moving, and I guess I ought to have my mind moving. I ought to be talking to you. That'd probably be a big help here if I drop this bad sketch I'm doing and started talking to you instead, or at least did a sketch that doesn't require anything of me other than just kind of mindlessly doodling. I'll talk about this thing here. I'll make my screen big temporarily while I talk about this. I've already removed an early impromptu review I did of this. Oh, I see what I'm doing now.
This looks good.
Yeah, here we go. Oops, did that wrong. Nope, that didn't work either. Here we go. That looks good. Oh, well, I'll just discuss this via. Oh, I'll do this for a second. This is part 2 of Narwhal's. I don't know how to pronounce Perberg. How would you pronounce Perberg? I think it's maybe more like Parbarg, maybe. It's kind of like a, Swedish name or something. Anyway, that's Narwhal. And I got this as the finish to his Earthbound.
Oh, yeah.
And it's it's a really thick, very extensive. It's as big or bigger than the other one. And it's in the same style. I've got some complaints about how, and this is this cast of characters, which is, I've got to hand it to Narwhal. These guys, with as quick a read as I gave to it, he doesn't beat you over the head with anything like exposition. But I still followed his story very cleanly all the way through with this big a cast of characters, knowing what I was dealing with. So that, big props to that. Most people can't do that. And compared to the last one, though, he just had a little more going on, it seemed like, with cool colors. Like, it seemed like most of the book last time was this color scheme, popping brights out. This one, it was like just went a little, I'm saying that looking for examples of how often it was just a little too dark for me. And now all of a sudden it's not bugging me. But it just seemed like it was darker this time. I hear it's getting dark, but it's nighttime. So, no, it just involves basically a final battle royale by these people that are forced to battle over status that gives them freedom of their lives, basically, here on Earth by a powerful being that is a little bit of a trickster and a loss as a empathy character itself. And it eventually is, it all plays out. No, I want to revise my opinion. I did a big spontaneous, like, unpacking review of this, and I deleted it. I said, you know what?
I was going to say, I didn't see that.
No, yeah, no, I made it private because I felt like I botched that. It had a few too many M's and R's and all that kind of stuff in it.
Oh my gosh, you sound like Dave.
Yeah.
Dave's always worried about that. He spends hours editing our podcast, and I'm like, who cares?
Yeah. So anyway, I got that. Very impressed with it, and probably the thing that makes me think most, the story and the art is impressive on its own level, but the writing, he's always talking about things with regard to writing. He's kind of like always got theories going on. He wants to be discussing when he streams with people, he's usually streaming with fellow writers, talking about this and that, about the, how you do it and how he does it.
Oh, yeah.
So I enjoy stuff like that. And I've been on, now that I can interact with it, Instagram all of a sudden is really interesting to me now that I can very easily upload stuff.
Oh, yeah, because you have a phone now or a smartphone.
Well, you know what? That doesn't matter. They just finally added a button on your computer.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they just finally got around to that. It just seemed like situation was begging for them to do it, but they finally did it. So now it's like I do things with it. And I'm really enjoying it. For Zeta girls, every time I open up, it's always got something fun. Even if they repeat themselves, it's still good.
I like Frazetta girls. Well, we met that, was it Sarah? Her last name's not Frazetta, it's his granddaughter, but we had that, Dave and I had that interview with her.
Yeah, for your podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which is cool. Do you feel like the interview went well or not?
Oh, yeah, it went real well.
Great.
Yeah, she was super cool to talk to.
Yeah. I'm always getting stuff that it's like, they're probably smart that it's no more interactive than it is, because I would be like, well, what about this? What about that? Because it does when you see these comments that accompany some of the illustrations. It's like, I don't know about that. You might want to argue with it or something like that.
Yeah.
That's not what I remember.
Yeah. I realized I had a problem with my lettering when I was buzzing through there, so I just fixed the lettering.
Oh, let me bring you back. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. It's done. It's done. You can't see it now.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh well, I'll show you what it was. I'll show you what it was before I say it over it. Let's see. It's on page 19. See right down here.
What? Yeah, I see. Mm-hmm.
See right there.
Yeah.
See how
that looks pretty good. Yeah, go buzz through that all with the art that magnified up. I got you full screen now. That looks pretty good. Yeah, look at that.
Look at in the lower left panel. That balloon is jacked up.
Yeah. So
I fixed that.
So, it should be under.
Well, it should be. I don't know what happened to it on the.
It got dragged out of place.
It should be like this. It should be like this, like that.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Is that just a setting in Illustrator that you say subtract?
I don't know. I didn't finish cropping the balloon. So when I make my balloons, I'll show you a little bit here. So when I make my balloons, it's circles that I've got. If anybody wants to learn how to letter, that the book about lettering by Nick Picos is great, and he talks about a lot of this stuff that I had to kind of figure out. But I got these balloon shapes that I've made. They're not circular or they're not round. I kind of modified it.
That makes me think of Raising Arizona. Well,
what?
You only have round? Or anyway.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it, but anyway.
Okay.
anyway, where they come together, I use the Pathfinder tool and join them, and somehow down here it got jacked up. So I just went in and fixed it just now, and so now it's fixed. All I got to do is save it, and I've got an action that flattens it and makes it the right shape. So I can save it as a TIFF, and in the right.
That sounds like and you're really quick at it too. From all this experience, you could make a living as doing lettering.
No, that sounds so tedious.
Yeah, it is. I hate the lettering.
I hate lettering. I will. Well, the problem is it's easy, and I did this as I went. So for me, it was real easy because I read the Illustrator files.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just breaking what's well, I've reading that Nate Pico's book. I learned a couple things.
Nate Pico, I should put the link in the bottom since we're
mentioning the Blambot guy, so is allowing me to use his font, so I'm okay with that.
Okay,
but he has, there's some tips in there that are really good. One of which was he said if you find a panel or a balloon that's too crowded, you can condense it by, I think he said it's to 92% of the horizontal scaling.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that's the amount that I figured out is safe and people don't really notice it. Mm-hmm. He said more than that and people notice it. Now I'm noticing that's not centered in the balloon. Crap. Do I fix it or do I not fix it?
What, your lettering ended up not being centered?
Yeah, no, I roll with it. This is issue 4. If I were doing my comic again, I would probably hire somebody to do. I mean, people will letter your book for $10 a page.
Yeah.
But it's like, it takes me about I could do a book in about an evening. So, mm-hmm. I mean, but I mean, part of the thing is, I mean, I know it's like, oh, you can make all this money or whatever. But, again, I go back to my thing is like, I'm drawing comics because I want to draw comics. I don't want to do pinups. I don't want to do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you want to tell stories. And
I want to tell stories. I want to draw.
You want to, yeah. You want to be John Byrne, your version of it.
Yeah, sure. Yes. And so I don't, I have a decent day job. Money is not, I don't, I mean, if I don't know. I don't want to say I don't worry about money because everybody worries about money, but I don't, the amount of money that I would make lettering wouldn't be worth the time to me.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I was just
okay. $10 a page. I could do a book in an evening. It's 22 pages. What's that? $200.
Plus, you wouldn't be socking away enough on Social Security. It'd be a really bad move.
Oh, no. I wouldn't quit. There's no way in hell I'd quit my job to become a letterer.
Exactly.
That would be a horrible move.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are you kidding? I'm like the golden boy at my work. I got a promotion, which I've talked about, but it's like official, And so
that's cool.
Now people are coming up to me going, "Oh, I didn't know you got." Oh, it's a big deal at my work because there's not very many people. And again, I'm not upper management or anything crazy like that, but I'm high enough that the next step above me, there's only about 6 people in the company. Then you're getting into like, oh, you're in charge of everything in a building. Mm-hmm. I'd had to think really hard before I moved up to that level.
Mm-hmm.
Even though my boss has told me when I quit, I want you to do this. But that he may be, it depends. He's not a lot older than me. So At that point I may be like, hey, I'm out of here, dude.
Yeah.
But because I don't work forever, but I'm not necessarily looking to quit. I got a pretty good thing going. So
yeah.
I'm not looking.
Well, it's not like there's fun or creative jobs all over the place in Oklahoma City. There's just not.
Yeah, and so so at work recently, I've been being referred to as the art director, which I love that. I'm like, you can call me that all day.
Sure.
But the problem is there's a few other people that would probably I may have to fight to get that title.
Yeah.
There's not really a title that they officially recognize at my work, so we don't really have an art director. However, I do have more artists under me than anyone else in the company, and I'm probably, or more creative people is probably a better way to put that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm poised to get about double that. So if that happens, then it'll be like, okay, I will probably change my title, self-change my title. I don't know. You got to be careful. I've went with, at one point when my boss quit, before they promoted me, I referred to myself as the lead artist in my department.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody just flew with it. They were like, you know, I'm always telling people under me, I got a few people under me that I think are like, and I've told them, if you stay here, you will probably be in some sort of management, you know, if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always telling them stuff about office politics and trying to teach them, like, okay, this is an office politics thing, you know, because that's how things run, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm pretty good at it.
Well, yeah, by now you should know everybody and all the personalities involved.
That's absolutely what it is. That's what I told somebody today. Everybody has their thing, and once you learn what their thing is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like, don't do, you know, like my old supervisor today was involved in an email, and as soon as I read it, I'd go, he's going to have a cow, because it's something that steps on his toes that he's very sensitive about. And it's like they basically went around him on something that should be under his control.
Hmm.
And I don't blame him for being annoyed, but it's just part of how it works, you know. But I promise you, of course, his reaction was pretty smart, because what happened is they wanted something done in a certain time frame, and he was like, we can't do that. And they were like, oh, we've already talked to this other person. He said they can.
Mm.
So he was, well, fine, then they can do it. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that was the perfect, you know, he handled it really well, because, you know, but I know, because he doesn't like people stepping on his toes. I don't blame him. That's annoying when you're responsible for something and somebody goes around you to be like, well, so-and-so told me you could do this for me, or whatever, you know. That gets a little snickery.
Yeah. Are you listening to books, or are you reading them? Or at all?
Well, my problem lately, today, you know, that I sent you that thing for that podcast, and I know that you guys are like, I'm not listening to a 5-hour podcast.
Oh, I saw that. I thought to myself, what? How long do you expect the guy to dig into it? And it was a kind of like a cyberpunk kind of thing, wasn't it?
He talks about all kinds of stuff.
That's the deal. It's like, okay, this goes on. This is long form. Is it?
It's big time long form.
Is it Joe Rogan good or what?
Well, I don't listen to Joe Rogan, so I can't tell you whether it's a different thing, because it's a monologue for one thing.
It is a monologue too. That is a talent in itself, saying, okay, now I'm on and I stay on.
Well,
or does he edit several bits together?
Yes, he edits several bits together.
Okay.
100% edits several bits together.
Okay.
But like one time, one of the ones I listened to.
What's the name of the podcast? So the anybody that watches this.
What is it? The overnight. I can't remember now. It's overnight.
I'll look it up. Never mind. I've got my stuff up here. As long as I don't. Here we go. I'll just open a new tab. There we go. Now we're safe. Don't want to close anything. Was it called Xander? No.
No, not that, whatever that was. No, it wasn't.
Overnightscape?
Overnightscape. That's it.
Okay. That would be overnight. That would be, he's trying to be Art Bell or something.
Well, I mean, he doesn't talk about, well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't listened to enough of him to give you a flavor of what he talks about, but it's just a bunch of stuff. I enjoy it. But I enjoy, so there's a guy named Gene Shepherd that I love, and he's passed away, but you can find his radio shows on, there was a podcast that did his radio shows, and he talked about all kinds of stuff. And this guy it's hard to explain.
I'll have to sample it, but I saw the length.
Yeah, that's and
I just kind of stopped. I said, I'm not going to listen to that.
Yep, that sounds like you.
Yeah. Well, I'm a late adapter. I will eventually catch up to stuff. So, you know.
Well, this has been going on for about 10 years. So
exactly.
I mean, he's recorded for like 10 years, man. It's crazy how much content this guy has out. But like one I was listening to, he lives somewhere outside of New York City, and he had commuted into work for the first time in quite a while. And so he was walking, and he was recording while he was walking. That's thicker. I like that. What do you think? Compare that age to that age. I like that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
By golly. Okay, I'll do the same one in this one. Kind of chop it up. But he was going through Grand Central Station,
mm-hmm.
and so he was talking about walking down this path and going, and having been there multiple times, I knew exactly where he was at. He talked about, there's a Dwayne Reed on the corner. So, you know, to me that was kind of interesting, but that may not interest you as much as it did me.
It does. It interests me. I've been there, of course, but it's just, you know, just to play tourist when I was there for a little bit, not long.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, no, I'll get around to.
Okay, I'll get off your back.
Some of that. No, you're not on my back. It's just what was Anne Rice's stuff, the interview with the vampire. I noticed that she wrote the screenplay, because I opened up the movie, and I forget if it's on Netflix or Prime, but I was watching it, and right away it's like the vampires are flying, and I thought to myself, wait a second, I'm halfway through the audiobook and no mention of such a power. And she wrote the screenplay, so I'm wondering.
The screenplay.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if it was like revision that said, "Hey, we're making a movie here. Our vampires fly."
Well, let's pump up the visuals, Anne.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, well, that's the deal. If she did do the screenplay, how many times did it go back to her? You know, and said, "Hey, here's some notes."
Hey, girlie, we better. We got to do something about this.
But I think she was pretty happy. She was supposedly really unhappy with Tom Cruise as a casting choice, but she decided she was wrong. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there's something about somebody can admit they're wrong.
Yeah.
One day I'll do that, and I'll tell you about it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to see a guy like a Scott Adams who has a really hard time. He acts like he's the guy you need to go to for a guy that can change his mind.
Oh yeah.
Once you present the data to him, but I think me and about 90% of his people that listen to him regularly would argue with him about that. If we thought it was worthwhile to argue with him, because he's a rough one to argue with, because he always acts like, no, you're wrong, and I'm I'm blocking you, by the way.
Yeah,
He does that kind of stuff.
I
So
don't
it's like,
blame him.
yeah.
You know.
In social media, yeah, there's no blame to be had for
Oh yeah.
any level of, dumb stuff you do.
Well, my theory, I block. I don't block people I know that much, but you know who I end up blocking a lot on social media is
Relatives.
no is when I go and like I know you're on Facebook. Say you're on Facebook
Uh-huh.
and you said something, and say I know you, but say we're completely opposite ends of the political spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And one of your friends comes on and they're like, oh, all these people should be dead or
Yeah.
something. And maybe there's the same opinion as you, but I know you, but their opinion is so strong that
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I never want to be friends with this person, and I will block them. I block a lot of people I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'll block. I used to.
Well, just it just seems kind of like rude to imagine, that you would join into their club
Yeah.
if it's a really, semi-harsh opinion. Yeah.
Well, I formerly followed the mayor, and our mayor. I don't know about our mayor. I'm not too keen on him.
I know. I don't even know who our mayor is.
He's Mayor Holt, and he's all about personal, whatever kind of glory he can get. He's a publicity hound, big time.
Okay.
He does a lot of stuff. Oh, I got to introduce and I find him pretty childish, to be honest with you. And he's a Republican, and I voted for him, but he does a lot for downtown. He does a lot for a few sections of the city, but he doesn't do much for the rest of the city. He doesn't do anything for like the district by the airport, because a friend of Michelle's owns property. She was complaining about some stuff about the homeless problem down there. And
by the airport?
Yeah.
Which one? Oh, the Will Rogers?
Yeah. The big airport. She owns a building there on Meridian, and she was talking about how, she says homeless people just causing chaos, can't get anything done about it. The city just doesn't care.
Who? The homeless on Meridian by Will Rogers.
By the airport.
By the airport. And the homeless have a big presence at the airport.
Not at the airport, north of the airport.
North of the airport on Meridian, the homeless.
Yes.
I've got to. I'm going to go by tomorrow and check that out, because I haven't noticed anything, but I don't go by that. But of course, I used to.
No. You didn't go. You didn't go north. You went straight west.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right.
You had to go north on Meridian go to I-40.
Right.
And pull over. There's a big gas station there. Pull over at that gas station and leave your truck running and walk around for a little bit. When you come back, it'll be gone.
Yeah, sure.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But it's not by the airport, because there's nothing by the airport.
Right. I was going to say, what?
Where you went, you got to go up where the hotels are.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about, like going.
But when people come to the city, that's the way they take to the highway.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about now. I was headed. I guess I was headed south in my mind. I was wondering, what around the airport are you talking about? You're talking about the where people go to their hotel after they get off the plane.
Well, or even to the highway to go somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, I did the same thing to the R. I think it looks better.
Oh yeah.
I think by Job, I think he's right. Now I gotta do the hard part is getting all these things to work right with the drop shadows and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
That I can do that. Let's see. Anyway, so I followed the mayor. Well, he would say something. It's funny. He would say something, and whatever segment of the political spectrum he was talking against, they would get on there and just lambast him. I'd just go in and block 100 people at his because I'd be like, I don't want to be friends with you. I may meet these people at a convention, and most of the time we had no friends in common, which at this point, if I don't have friends in common with somebody, I'm probably never going to meet them, but you never know. And so I would just block them just because, like, I don't want to interact with them.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Right.
Didn't have any way to mute that before I did it.
Cover your mouth. Cover your mouth.
Yeah.
Cover your mouth.
Touch your face.
Yeah, don't touch your face. Okay, dang it. Let's see. I got a hole that I need to fix.
It didn't look very good. I mean, I was talking to my looking at my own artwork here.
I thought you were complaining about my logo.
Nope. There we go. That's a little more like it.
Let's see. I had this problem the other day and it drove me crazy. Because, see, the middle of my R shouldn't be black. It should be... Oh, you know what, though? Hang on.
Gotta sneeze. Yeah.
That's good. That's good radio there, Ellis.
That helped.
There you go. Okay, let's see if this works. Ideally, this will punch holes in all those. Dang it. Why isn't that working, Ellis?
Don't you love thinking you got it figured out and then discovering you don't?
Well, it's okay. Window attribute. Where's it? Oh, right there. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So this is the black.
Oh, okay. Let me get back to you. I was just sharing my screen for a second. I've got the Grim Reaper versus Waylon Given. That's what I need. I need a cowboy hat.
In real life?
Waylon Given's cowl. That looks interesting. Hey, check that out. See, we're both little thumbnails down at the bottom. And, and your screen is dominating. Yeah, I think I'll give him a hat. That'll be more interesting. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Justified, which I just noticed that I've got a season 6 waiting for me at the library, so I'll go pick that up. I'm I've taken in so much of it recently that I'm a little bit burned out on it, but that's all right. It's good stuff.
Okay.
So go ahead.
This is the tricky part because you gotta. I'm trying to.
Uh-oh, that sounds tricky.
Yeah, that's Michelle will get it downstairs. I have a landline still.
Oh, cool. No, a guy, you miss that landline if you don't have it and you were used to it, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I people are always like, why do you got a landline? I'm like, well, first off, it's pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that pisses me off is they change this to a voice over IP. And so if my computer doesn't work, used to if your power went out, you could still make a phone call.
Right.
Not with a voice over IP. Because it's got to go through the modem.
Oh, okay. Huh. So it hardly even seems like it's a landline anymore. It's
exactly. Yep.
It linked itself to the hip, but being a digital thing, yeah.
Yep. And it's like,
I gotta take I've got my headphones off right now so I can blow my nose. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Who knows? I may be having the COVID right now as we speak.
I doubt it.
Well, you never know. Colds are colds. If one's come on me, they always catch you off guard. It's like, where did I get this? Dang it. I got a cold. I don't think I have, but you never know.
I feel like you would have more symptoms, but you never know.
Well, it may just be happening. It's incubated. I'm not worried about it.
Oh, I know you're not worried about it.
I'm sure I will. And this goes back to Scott Adams and his annoying points. And he makes this analogy like he's found the perfect analogy himself. But if someone else comes along and makes a similar kind of like a deal closing analogy, he goes, "Why, I think you've changed the subject."
Oh, really?
He just loves to do that. It's like, why, you shouldn't even be in the room with me, that sort of thing.
You worthless.
Yeah, or
crap.
No, he doesn't go that bad, but he is a bit above it all.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
What was it? Oh yeah. His analogy that he thought was a killer was that if you knew there was a 1% chance your plane would crash, would you be on that? And it's like, okay.
There's always a 1%. I mean, well,
no, 1% chance is pretty high for climbing on board a plane. You don't want that. But at the same time, it would be interesting to know what the figure is, because obviously it's going to be a percentile.
Yeah, and I guarantee you the insurance companies know.
Yeah, oh yeah. But anyway, that point, making that, because he's somebody, but he has revised his opinion. He's not going to get boosted. He's reserved himself on that in terms of like saying, I don't know about this heart enlargement and all that. I don't think he's given that out as a particular reason, but you got to know that all the miscellaneous people claiming it can also hurt you is guiding his decision not to get boosted. Because otherwise, why wouldn't you get boosted?
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go.
And
I like that better. It's got.
I haven't even looked up see if we had anybody following us, but nobody's in.
No,
that does look like Raylan. Well, I tell you what, it's a muscle memory sketch right there. Raylan versus death. That's not bad as far as the thematic thing. I think I'll try to color it by going under it, alpha locking it, see what I get. Alpha lock. I'll just call the drawing done. And get underneath it. Decide what time of day and all that is going on here. Oh, yeah, I mentioned that about listening to, trying to think of anything else I've watched recently. Oh, I finished off Arcane. High recommendations for that. Oh, Scott has, can you hear me, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay. You've turned into an icon for your the small screen that's down in the corner. You're probably running low on battery or something on that one.
No. This is all computer. There's no battery.
Oh, cool.
Was it not an icon the whole time, Ellis?
No. You were present for a lot of it, I thought. Maybe not. I don't know. Jeez. Now I wonder. I just now looked up to see if we'd had anybody commenting, because it would have been the first time I paid attention to it. But nobody has. So we're all by ourselves today.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll catch it on the flip side.
Sure. So
to speak. Anyway, what were you saying?
What was I saying?
You were listening to Arcane.
Yeah. Arcane. Really good. I just love the artwork, the concepts.
What is Arcane? Do I know what that is?
Arcane is apparently a game called something of Legends, League of Legends or something like that. I'll look it up. Arcane, League of something or other. Arcane, Netflix. And you know, it was just basically the team from the games saying,
Oh, I've
let's
heard
make
it.
it like it, let's make us a movie.
Yeah, you posted a picture of that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Again, well,
the oppressed Undercity Zon sisters, Vi and Jinx. And that's pretty much the dynamic. We're going to follow their story throughout. And it's a pretty groovy little story, but it is purposely, as far as arcs go, it always just becomes in the basement sad stuff.
oh, really?
Yeah, someone loses just and you'll have all the stakes figured out and then they will lose big. So you know that they are more than willing to kill these characters. So there's it's called Arcane League of Legends is the game that apparently I guess people get on and probably play together. I would assume that's the only kind of game anybody makes anymore is the one where you massive multiplayers.
Oh, no, that's absolutely not true. They make they make all they make.
Well, I know they make other types of games, but this kind of game and this level of work being done for it, maybe not. I don't know.
You know what you need to look for? Have you seen Red Dead Redemption 2?
I've seen the artwork for it. That's pretty cool.
Have you seen the game?
I have not. I've not played it or anything. No.
Well, you should watch. Well, somebody
watch a walkthrough. I do watch walkthroughs every now and then. Those are cool.
Look for a walkthrough of that, and somebody did a 4K. I don't know if it was on a new system or they did an up-res or what. And it's pretty. It looks like a Western. Okay, here's my final logos.
Okay, let me look. Got to get back to it. Oh yeah. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, it's nice and it's chunky and it looks. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let me.
It looks like it looks cloud-like. Yeah.
So let me do this. I'll do a little. Let's see. File open.
Oops, that's too big.
Ow. One thing about doing is, well, first off, somehow all my icons have become inverted. I don't know why.
Oh man, yeah. That's where I just give up. Pitch a fit. Say what?
Life is over. Life is over for me.
Yeah.
This is issue. What issue is this? 4 or 2?
Mm-hmm.
This is the cover. You were talking about showing the cover.
Oh yeah. Show off that cover. Get close to it. Let's see it. It's pretty cool, but I gotta, if I had a criticism, of course, it is that it's it looks like it was done in Photoshop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. One thing I like about it is the girl did a good. She obviously read the book, read the script or something, because this is a character in the book, and she kind of got this scene is not in the book, but it could have been because this character asked this girl out on a date.
That's her MO. Yeah.
Yeah. She's kind of the sex kitten of the group, so to speak. So let me open. Let me see if I saved this.
You're going to have to give your close friends the our own little finished product PDFs. that's just a suggestion.
What?
Just kidding. I don't.
So
you know what you need to do, Scott? You need to see to it that
give
Scott,
some of that out.
Yeah, that me and Dave and Barry
Yeah,
that you get all that art to us so we can enjoy it.
I'll take that under advisement.
And send out, uniquely stamped ones and watermarked ones so you know who leaked the Comixology. Yeah.
Yeah, or some of the other pirate sites.
Yeah. Oh man, and there is so much pirate site going on. You run those words together, pirate site. Sounds just like parasite, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
But any comic you want, I think it's out there.
Oh my gosh!
In some form or other,
There's one, and you can go, and everything that came out Wednesday is there.
Oh man! Well, for poor people, maybe that's what Schwab and the other global elites are talking about. You will have nothing and be happy. Yeah, as long as I've got comic books, I'm happy.
Yeah, why not? Why not? That'll be bread and circuses.
Yeah, exactly. Oop. There we go. Yeah, I want him to. Oops. Hey, what layer am I on anyway? There we go.
Story of my life. What layer am I on?
Yeah, it didn't look right. That was damaging my mojo. There we go. Raylan Givens versus Death. Very good.
Let's see. This needs a little bit of a drop shadow.
Yeah, I went for a walk today. It was pretty. It was interesting. I wouldn't even call it snow that we got, even though we were being predicted for snow. And, by the morning, it was like, wait a moment, that's not snow. That looks more like frost,
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. The roads were wet when I left my house. Or actually, when I drove home. There, that's cool. I'm saving this.
Oh yeah. That's got a nice balance. What do you think about it needing to be lower? Maybe it looks like it's crowding the top a little bit. I don't know. What do you think?
The logo. Well,
yeah. There you go.
You think Where am I going to put the company logo?
Have an overlap.
No, I don't want an overlap. There we go, right there.
Okay.
Well, okay, so I had this here.
What about the balance on that Greg Wright Scott Sackett? Isn't that a little big?
No.
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 I don't know. That seems a little large for a credit.
This is how. Well, I can shrink his name.
Yeah, go ahead and shrink his name by 50%.
He'll appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, does it? It just feels like it's a little bit of a dominant graphic element.
As the art director, I would say you're wrong.
Going to say no. I'm wrong.
No, I'm saying no.
Okay. It's funny.
This is a mock-up.
Okay. It might change.
Well, no. I'm not putting this together. I'm just going to put this. I'm going to drop this on.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to put it on, since you said it'll work, I'm going to put it on Instagram.
Ah. Oh, yeah. Try that. Try the new button.
Let's see here.
I call it the new button. It's probably been out for 2 years, for all I know. I just know I was frustrated by trying to join the crowd by saying, what? They don't support having a computer being the only way you get online?
I don't think you can put TIFFs on Instagram. I think I need to say this is a JPEG.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably true. That's interesting.
I want to copy hers. Hey, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
No, I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say the JPEG. Sorry about that. There's
That's
it.
all right.
Here's cover one.
I've given you the COVID.
Yes. Good. Okay, I need to go, Ellis.
Look at that. Okay, you got to go. That sounds good.
Well, yeah, I need to email those logos to the guy.
Oh yeah, we've been at it an hour. Okay, Scott, I'm into the broadcast now. So take it easy, everybody out there that shows up and finds this eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Ending broadcast.